Have you noticed any shifts in Catholic social teaching under the papacy of Pope Francis?
Well, I think there have been a number of shifts, one of which I mentioned tonight, and that is the localization. So he emphasized a lot the local communities, local aid, development, in comparison perhaps with John the 23rd, where the focus was on the international organizations. It's not the Pope doesn't speak about the UN, he does refer to it, but I think he really challenges communities on the ground, grassroots communities, grassroots living. So that's one. I think he has also shifted the teaching of war and peace, but we are at a crucial time now, and I didn't mention tonight, but Pacem Terris is 60 years old this year, and 10 years after Pacem Terris, it was suggested that perhaps another chapter was needed called Bellum Terris. Now we have Bellum Terris, and I think Francis is moving Catholic peacemaking in a particular direction, but it probably needs to be systematized in response to the war in Ukraine. And of course, we're very conscious of that war, but the war by piecemeal war that Francis refers to, that's happening throughout the world in countries that don't have the immediate impact on us in Europe. So there are two shifts. I think that the shift I mentioned in the way in which he draws from episcopal conference documents worldwide and cites them, you might say, well, so what, footnotes, who cares? But footnotes are often indicative of the sources that someone is going to. And I think Pope Francis has extensively brought the voices of local churches into his documents. Maybe not citing too many women, but I think the sort of local dimension is very, very significant. And that's why I was saying that that third shift is the reciprocity of teaching and learning between, let's say, papal teaching and local teaching on the ground, where really Catholic social teaching, it's where the rubber hits the road and decisions have to be made that are principled but also provisional. So I think he has pushed us to think about the integration, the inclusion and the lifting up on the ground in our own societies, in our own politics. There may be other shifts now, but that's just the immediate ones.
And do you believe Catholic social teaching is relevant to the secular world?
I think wherever people speak up in favour of those who are badly treated in society, against structural injustice in our world, against war, then it has something to say. I think Catholic social teaching, it's uniquely placed. I mean, the World Council of Churches produces excellent documents. Other religious traditions are also producing documents about faith and justice and ecology. We don't have a monopoly on it. But I think the natural law approach that Catholic social teaching often takes, which natural law has certain disadvantages, but the advantage of natural law is that it reminds us as human beings we can, despite differences of religion or race, reason together about what is good and just. And as long as we maintain that faith in the capacity of human reason to collaborate and work together across the differences of religion and culture and politics, that natural law approach, I think, will enable us to dialogue with those of secular conviction in a way that exclusively drawing from the scriptures may not.